So today I'm going to give you a tour of a tower suite unit at the Gables Club, and there's several of them here. They're 2-story, 7,500 square foot units. What's interesting in this, what I'm going to show you today, is we're covering 3 areas we've done separate videos on: return airflow for good air conditioning, water leaks with waterproofing, and mold remediation. So we got it all here. We're going to give you a tour. Okay, so the first issue I want to talk about is the water leaking and what we're doing to fix it before I get into the mold. The water leaking was caused by old windows that we're replacing that had not had good sealant. So we're putting in impact windows. And it also, the leaking was affected by the sloping of the balcony. And we've talked previously about how important it is on balconies that the water slopes out away from the building, not into it. So those areas are going to be remedied when we begin. The other leak up here was from an ice cooler that, if you look closely at the floor, you can see all the waves. So between the ice cooler or the ice maker, excuse me, and the unsealed windows and the poor sloping, this place had massive flooding. So we are going to replace all of this second story. But before we do it, we've been left with, as we've talked about, with water intrusion, there's mold. So this will be remedied, initially demoed, I should say, by the mold remediation team. There was a bar over here on the other side. We've already started to take it apart. We discovered mold, so that has to be handled by the mold team. So that's what we're doing on the second floor. So that's going to end up becoming a big design issue with new flooring going in, new baseboards, new door casing, new windows. So it'll be a complete transformation. That's the second floor. The first floor, there was water intrusion, but completely different from old leaks that the new owners discovered from exterior issues that were uncovered. That has already been remedied. We've done the mold remediation, and the repairs are going on as we speak downstairs. So the third issue that I mentioned is the return airflow. And I actually noticed when I first started coming in here that it was very warm. I mean, obviously we have big windows across the whole front, but it was just not registering with me that it was effective. So when I discovered where the vents were and how they were not working, and a simple test you can do, there's two tests we do. One is we open up a air conditioning closet door, because remember, this is an existing apartment, so we don't have the luxury of looking into the ceilings and seeing plenum space and where the airflow would be going. So one test that we do is we open an air conditioning closet door, and if it slams shut, that means the unit is sucking that air in and there's no return. The other test that you can do is you can take a little piece of tissue and stick it up into what is supposed to be a return air vent. And if the tissue sticks to the vent, you've got some return air. Unfortunately here, all the tissue fell to the ground, so there was no return air to be found, and all the doors of the units slammed shut. So I brought in some engineers and architects that specialize in this, and we've done a lot of work together. So the engineer is guiding us on exactly the size, based on the amount of air flow going into the apartment, how large we need to create return air spaces. So again, being a beautifully finished apartment, we have to strategically find those locations that are going to work to allow air to go back into that unit, because remember, air conditioning is all about the return back to that machine. So there are 4 machines in this 2-story apartment, so it's really critical, which is why I wanted the engineer and architect involved to advise us where we can truly maximize airflows to each one of those machines, that circulation of that air that we've discussed so many times. So on the finished product, the finished video we give you, we can then actually pinpoint to you where we ended up putting all those return air grills.